Early in the morning.
What's going on, the people? It's your boy Cam Topical Juice, and I've just this second woken up. It's the next morning. I really wanted to get this review out last night as soon as the episode finished, but once I realised that this review is going to be long, I thought, damn, I'm so tired. Like I want to deliver this video the best possible way, you know what I'm saying, rather than just doing it kind of quick fire yesterday. So guys, we are gonna go straight into this video. I can see my camera's flashing. I'm scared it's not gonna last the whole video, but it is what it is. Let's get straight into this. All right, now, so like the video for me, hit the bell to be notified for me, press the notification bell, all of that, some merchandise description. This reunion was so good. It made me frustrated reflecting on Love Island's reunion. This is what a reunion should be like, guys. Sorry, I'm so tired as well, by the way. I'm literally just a second woken up. To start, Jackie and Josh were not there. They actually had to call in the day before and clear up a few rumors and things like that. Now, I'm not too sure the reasons why they weren't there, but I initially thought it was because they couldn't get there or whatever, but I now believe it's because they chose not to be there. I believe they didn't want to actually face the music. I believe they didn't want to just be there because they couldn't be bothered, did it? Do you know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, that's their prerogative. But I don't think it was like, I don't think they couldn't be there. I think they chose not to be here, innit? And that's what made my man, Marshmallow, feel slighted. So wow, this review is gonna be so long, guys, genuinely. My camera's not gonna make it. I know it's not, it's gonna piss me off. To start with, Kwame and Chelsea, they look very comfortable together. They're still together, it's been a year. What can I say? All the married couples are still married. Bliss and Zach, they look great. Zach looks fresh, Zach looks sharp, yeah? Zach with a beard, different. I gotta give it to him, man. He ain't the weirdo that I saw in the show, bro. He said a few things out of line. I'm not gonna lie to you, in the reunion. I thought, well, it's still entertaining though, but, well, he said one thing out of line, but I thought overall, Zach looked good. He looked composed, he looked confident. You know what I'm saying? Man had a beard and his whole energy changed, bro. He should have gone into the whole thing with a beard. I reckon Irina might have fancied him after that. Kwame's looking sharp, Brett looks sharp. I've never really done the whole suit and trainer look though, but Brett showed me it looks good, so I might have to start rocking it. But I've never had a pair of Jordans in my life, so. Anyway, the reunion starts with Brett and Tiffany, and they kind of show clips about her falling asleep. She basically explains how she was emotionally tired, how his voice was soothing, etc, etc. Marshall then gets an opportunity to speak as well. He explains how he encouraged Brett to move to Tiffany and things like that after they kind of called it off. I can't even remember Tiffany even talking to Marshmallow, you know. That obviously must have happened at the start, but I can't even remember them two being in dates at the start. And then Brett then explains the story behind the portraits, and he actually explained the story on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it, but then he then vocalized it on the reunion, which I'm glad he did, because again, similarly to Love Island, like these reality TV shows, we really don't see a lot of it. Do you understand? Like, we really don't see a lot of the combos. Like, a lot of these dates that we're seeing, a lot of these combos that we're seeing 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, when really it's 10 hours we're missing out on, 20 hours we're missing out on. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of hours we're completely missing out on that is not being shown. And that scene reminded me of that. Oh damn, once again, you know, when we're missing the whole story on things. And it's like, you have to remind yourself as a viewer that reality TV is just not real. Like, it's proper, it's constructed, it's a narrative. So, but yeah, so Brett explains the story behind the portrait, how she was sad and she was stressed, and then he ended up taking her picture, and then when, you know, we got it printed off, and it was just a nice moment, you know what I'm saying? It was a real nice moment. Similarly to Chelsea and Kwame, they had a lot of scenes that didn't get shown. They were talking about, they had like a Calvin Klein date. So basically, Chelsea explains how they had like a Calvin Klein date in the pods. So when they did their little shoot after their wedding, or around their proposal, I think it was before their wedding day, sorry, they had a little shoot, a little romantic shoot, like a half naked shoot. That was like, she was basically explaining that, yeah, even though that was my dream, we both had a lot of fun doing it. The reason for that is we're very similar. We even did a Calvin Klein date in the pods, and that's interesting because I feel like they should have shown that, because that would give us more context around the photo shoot. You know what I'm saying? That just would, even though, yeah, that would just give us a lot more, because a lot of us were saying, fam, he didn't even want to be there. You know what I'm saying? She just forcing him to be there. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong here, I think they look good together. What can I say? Here I am saying, oh, you know, they're not really gonna last. I'd be shocked if they're still together. Bro, they're still together. So, I ate my words. I was wrong. Yeah, clearly all his body language and his face and like when he laughs in inappropriate moments and doesn't really give, you know what I'm saying? Clearly all of these things I was picking up on, you know, I was wrong in it. I'm saying I was wrong. They're actually still married. They're still together. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I swear down. I swear. There was some moments here in the reunion where I swear it looked like Get Out, bro. It literally looked like a moment from the film Get Out. And if you know the film, you know the film, bro. You know the film, you know the film. I swear, when he was talking about, what was he talking about? Oh, when he apologized. Guys, I was genuinely crying. I was laughing. In fact, I even recorded it. I'm gonna play a clip right now.
And like, I'm so glad that we have grown so much together. And I'm sorry, I let my ego get the best of me in that moment. I'll never do that again, you know? And then the second layer is I need to say sorry to Chelsea's family, right? It's not an accurate representation of our relationship and definitely not of me. I definitely let that moment get the best of me. And so they all need to know how much I care and love for my wife. You know? She means the world to me. You know,
it's like he's slipping, his mask is slipping.
Guys, you see the way he's like laugh, like it's like he's nervously laughing. It's like, babe, did I do good, babe? Did I do good, massa? Yo, I'm joking in it, but it just looked like that. It looked like he didn't want to be there. It looked a bit nervous. Like she was just looked like he just, you know what I'm saying? It looked like some scene from Get Out. It looked like the presenters. You see that old married couple? They just went ding, ding, ding with the tea, and that's it. He's back in the sunken place. But no, all seriousness though, they actually look good together in it. And I actually said that weeks ago at the start. I think they look like a good couple in it together. Yeah, I just feel like they match in. Yeah, I just feel like they match still. So they then address the poolside chat. Now, guys, again, this is what presenters need to do. I had every bit of faith in this reunion before it started. I was adamant this reunion was gonna bang off. I was adamant it was gonna slap, and it did. And the reason why, yeah, is because I feel like Americans, yeah, when it comes to like reality TV, I feel like Americans do it properly, where they don't hide from things. In England, yeah, they'll bury their head in the sand. They don't really want to address things. They want to really control a narrative. Americans, yeah, especially these American presenters, they did not shy away from asking the tough and difficult questions. They addressed everything that happened in social media. They addressed everything that happened like controversial in the show. Sorry, my hay fever's going off. And that's what you need to do. You need to hold these people to the flames. You need to actually tell them. You need to show them Wagwan and say, what did you mean when you said that? Oh, we all saw that you did this and did this. Like, what do you mean by that? You know what I'm saying? What do you mean by that? And I love that. So the first thing they do is they address the Mexico poolside chat that Kwame had with Micah. Chelsea's explaining that the conversation was difficult to watch, but they had had hours-long conversations before all of that didn't get shown, with like Chelsea and Kwame, for example, and even Chelsea and Micah. They actually, as soon as they got back from Mexico, they spoke. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get to see that, but they spoke as soon as they got back to Mexico and kind of squashed the whole thing, ironed it out. We only got to see a 5-minute clip or a 3-minute clip when really they actually walked the dogs and spoke for hours. So I wonder what else we missed. But they squashed it. And this is where Kwame basically says, oh, it was really hard to watch. It was immature for him to react like that. He said it's unfair to my wife. He's sorry, baby. He's glad he's grown. Sorry he let his ego get the best of him. He'll never do it again. Fam, that was the scene there. Even though he was coming across very introspective. He was coming across very mature. It was just funny. It was just a funny scene because it really looked like he was under duress. I swear, it really looked like he was under duress. It really looked like in order for him to be allowed on the table, be allowed on the stage, he had to do and say what Chelsea said. Like, so it was just funny. Even though, listen, I'm joking in it, but it just came across like that. For me though, I felt Kwame got let off a little bit easy, only because yeah, they were too focused on the ego part of it. Sorry, the drink part of it. They were too focused on Micah's inappropriate joke. They were too focused on, oh, let's cheers to a failed proposal. When in reality, yeah, I didn't even think that should have been the talking point. For me, the talking point was how he was moving. For me, the talking point was what wasn't said. For me, the talking point was his body language and how it was clear as day that he still had feelings for Micah at that point. It was clear as day. Sorry, guys. Fuck's sake. It was clear as day that he would have chose Micah over Chelsea if it was presented, if the opportunity presented itself. But I feel they chose to focus on the inappropriate joke and how he reacted to it. So Micah's there apologising, saying, yeah, this and this. When really, I mean, he did apologise, to be fair. He did apologise. So I just thought they focused too much on the joke rather than him and Micah's dynamic. But then ultimately, we don't see a lot of things. And even though Chelsea explains that, Kwame said he ended it with Chelsea anyway. So he ended it with Micah anyway. When we all saw that Micah ended it with Kwame. So I thought that was a bit cheeky for Kwame to come back to her and say, I was gonna end it with her too. Even though we know he probably wasn't. But the reason I bring that up is because Kwame then explains that even though we really felt something at the start, maybe by the end, we both knew it was gonna end. So maybe they portrayed it like Michael was playing him on, leading him on, but he actually admitted that he had a breakup note ready. So they, maybe we were wrong about that one as well. Maybe he wasn't. If they didn't angle it the way they did and didn't narrate it the way they did, maybe we would have seen Kwame actually end it with Micah as well, and that would have painted a completely different narrative. And then we would have been like, oh yeah, he likes Chelsea because we know he was going to end it with Micah. So, little things like that really change the whole narrative and how we perceive someone. Anyway, yeah, he allegedly had a breakup note, but in my opinion, I still stand on what I believe. I believe he would have gone for Micah if she didn't end it. I believe he would have preferred to go for Micah, especially after seeing her. Remember, you have to cast your mind back to what he was saying. He was saying, yeah, it was still hard to get over her. It was still hard to, it was still hard to see her. We had all these feelings for, this is what he was saying at Mexico when he saw her for the first time, or whatever it was. So, I'm not really buying that too tough, Kwame. Alex, my guy Alex, actually he clears that up as well. He clears up the whole Alex Kwame thing because people gave him criticism. It's funny because I never actually criticized him for this. If you cast your mind back to my first ever video, I never actually criticized him for this, where social media criticized him. Because social media criticized him, for being a coon. They were like, he wants to use his name, he's Alex, because he's not actually connected to his name and he's not connected to his roots. I didn't perceive it like that. I actually perceived it as he was originally going to use Alex because of the hardship a black man has to face using his real name. Whether it's on a job application or getting to meet new people, if you use your name Kwame, basically you're automatically being open to being judged. And that's not his fault, that's the fault of society, that's the fault of internalized prejudice and unconscious biases, unconscious prejudice, so that's why I perceived it. I never criticized him for that, because even though I think he's quite, for a better term, whitewashed, I do think he's connected to his roots, because his parents are first generation. His parents are actually from there. His mum's actually Ghanaian. Anyone's there. So yeah, he should be pretty close to his roots. But that being said, I think him and his brother do have a type. So yeah, but his mum gave him his blessing after all. I think Chelsea met his mum, met the parents. Mum embraced Chelsea. There was even apparently a really lovely scene where they were saying what they're grateful for, obviously completely off camera, this is while they're living their life, this is over the last year, where one of his nieces, for God's sake, said she's grateful for Auntie Chelsea. So, she's been accepted into the family, Chelsea's loved now by the family, she's accepted, and I'm happy for her, man, I really am, because she's always wanted this, she's wanted a husband. And you know what, I've got to give Chelsea credit, because Chelsea's now calmed down a little bit. She's secure now, she's found security in Kwame. Because remember, Chelsea was very hell-bent on, okay, we need to be married, I want kids, this, here, there, it's a timeline. And she even said that being with Kwame has now slowed her down. And the reason she slowed down is because she's actually genuinely secure now. She was insecure before, she was insecure about her age, getting on, she was insecure about being single. Now she's met Kwame and they're actually comfortable. She's now taking the foot off the pedal and enjoying their time together, enjoying their life together. And in turn, there's no pressure now to have kids. They'll have kids when it comes, and that shows a sign of growth for Chelsea. I've got to give her credit. She's clearly calmed down a little piece and realised, it is what it is. Again, what I like about the presenter is the presenter calls out Kwame. I think it was the male presenter. He says, "Why were you crying if you didn't feel her?" Here you are talking about, the date would have ended early. Sorry, the date's ended early. I was gonna break up with you. I had a breakup note. Why were you crying then, big man? And I can't lie, I have to agree, because the reality is, if you don't care about someone no more and you're gonna break up with them, you do not get upset. The only thing that hurts you is your ego that someone broke up with you first. That's the reality of the situation, guys. Yes, people can be different and you can cry, you can mourn over the situation because once upon a time you did like each other in the pods, but no, I'm sorry. The way I see it is, if you didn't have feelings for someone and they end up breaking up with you, in your mind you're thinking, hallelujah, you don't have to be the one to break up. You can just be like, cool, that's fine, I was gonna break up with you anyway, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? We're good to go. But he wasn't, he cried, he was upset, he was emotionally, he was hurt. And I believe that's because he wasn't gonna be the one to break up with her. I believe that still. I believe he would have gone for her. So presenter, good for you for calling him out on that. But he basically answered it well, because Kwame's good with his words. He answered it well by saying, you know, you can be emotional even if you don't care. And that's the way I processed it. Because he's basically saying, you know, you can love someone and be with someone, but when you end, you still cry over it, you still mourn. Yeah, but I just don't, I believe that in a different context. I don't believe that in your context. The presenters even then asked Micah, is that shocking to you, or did you see that coming? She's like, yeah, I don't really remember that being the way we broke up, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did what's best for each other. I think Kwame was just hurt that it got snipped mad fast. I think he wanted to break up and be all this dramatic moment of it. And again, that's how I know, yeah, he does care. Because breaking up romantically or breaking up in a cute way, well, what's that gonna do? No, it's better to nip it in the bud immediately, break up immediately, snip it, lock it off immediately, and move on. What's the point in stringing it along? And no, that's why I don't believe it. And then Chelsea actually gives some insight into Micah as well. Chelsea says Micah told Chelsea she was gonna break up with Kwame, but that never got showed. So Micah said to Chelsea, I'm gonna break up with Kwame today. He's all yours. She then breaks up with Kwame that very same day. So you gotta give Micah credit on that one there, man. You know what I'm saying? Micah, even though she was kind of leading him on, I felt that, yeah, she chose what was right for her, and she was the one that made the big decision. Kwame wouldn't have gone through with it. So then we move on to Zach and Bliss, and as I said, Zach looks great with a beard, looking all sharp, and they talk about how, you see the whole love song situation, the song that they bonded over. They talk about how that song is like a synopsis for their love journey. How there's some lyrics in the song that says like the mountain in the distance, the mountain in the distance, etc., etc. And he feels like the mountain in the distance was like a metaphor and representative of their relationship. He said that he was afraid of that mountain, which was Bliss. He was afraid of that difficult task. He was afraid it wouldn't work. He was afraid it would fail. Again, I don't really understand that, because you could. Why aren't you afraid it could fail with anyone? But anyway. Whatever, he's just talking about how he's afraid with Bliss, and he actually says that he took the path with least resistance with Irina. They talk about the dad's relationship. The dad's relationship's improved. See, I didn't really like the dad a lot. The dad was a bit of a bitch. The dad was a bit rude. But what can I say? The dad is now willing to pay for their honeymoon. Now he's gonna pay for their honeymoon, all of it. Apparently Zach and the dad are always talking at the dinner table. They get on great. They get on like a house on fire, all these things. And this is where we are introduced to Irina, because Irina and Micah are then shown clips of their behavior. You know what I'm saying? Following just a conversation with Zach. And they show clips of them being bitches. They show this kind of Mardi Gras scene. They show Irina eavesdropping on Amber, where Amber's crying about the whole situation, saying, you know, when's it going to be my turn? When's it going to be my turn after Paul let her go? And Jackie was crying as well. And Irina and Michael were just coming across as real bitchy people, real mean girls. So they show that. And this is where we transition into Irina and kind of talk about the whole triangle there. And the presenter says, Irina, what was it like watching those clips? And she goes, she puts on the fake tears. She goes, sorry, I just need a minute. And you could hear some people in the crowd going, oh, here we go. Like, oh, yeah, she's, you know what I'm saying, And yeah, so she says, I just need a minute, I just need a minute. And yeah, she basically just reflects on how that's not the person that she wants to be. It was painful that that's the image that she was left with. I've apologized privately to everyone. I'm sorry, etc., etc. I can't believe this. But it was interesting how she said about, that's not who I want to be left with. That's not the person I want to be. That's not the image I want people to see of me. I don't know. It really does give legs to what Zach said about her just wanting to be on there for fame and things like that. She just wanted to be famous and clout. She wasn't really on there for love. Bliss even calls out Irina. She says, Irina, I really hope you grow one day. She says, I really hope you grow from this. Because she said, it's so sad to see someone as wonderful as Zach be treated so poorly from you. I hope you grow from this. And I thought, wow, this is exactly what we need to be given as an audience. This is the type of accountability I'm trying to see. Zach then gets asked here if he felt she ever took him seriously, and he said no. And now Irina says that ain't fair because you're the best guy that I met on the show. But she was true to herself. She said that she was having panic attacks. She was saying that it wasn't actually based on looks, it was just based on the energy. As soon as he saw it, let's be real here. She was just kept chatting out her ass, yeah, when she said, oh, it wasn't about looks. People say it's about the looks. No, it's not about how he looked. It was just the energy. As soon as I saw him, I just knew it wasn't right. And we both knew it wasn't right. And it's just the energy. Like, you've got every right to be true to yourself. but it was about the looks. You can't just see someone and then all of a sudden you can then predict the future. And, oh, actually, there's something, I just got a gut feeling. That's it, she said gut feeling. As soon as I saw him, my gut feeling told me, no, this isn't gonna work, it's not alright. Now, don't get me wrong, your gut was obviously bang on. His gut was probably bang on. But the point is, it was triggered by his appearance. You didn't like the way he looked. It's as simple as that. You didn't like the way he looked, you weren't attracted to him, and you thought, you know what, F this, I'm not for it. Now, where I am gonna defend her is that you don't know what this experience is like. Yeah, the presenter tried to be cheeky and saying, you know, I mean, this is what you signed up for, it's marriage at the end of the day, like you're meant to sign up, there's a whole marriage at the end of it, but at the end of the day, no one really knows how it's gonna go down. Yeah, you know you're meant to meet someone in these pods and you're meant to get married in a week or 2 or 3 weeks, whatever, go to Mexico, live together. People know the premise, but that's a real unique situation. It's a rare social experiment, so it's not a normal circumstance. So I'm not blaming her for not being attracted to him or not really wanting to go through with it and having panic attacks and feeling nervous, whatever. But it's the way she handled that. It's the way she handled that emotion, how rude she was, how cruel she was, how bitchy she was, how nasty she was. I'm not blaming her for not being attracted to Zach. If she ain't, she ain't. Be respectful and keep your step in. That's the way you should have dealt with it, but she wasn't. So I'm not gonna blame her for feeling the way she feels, but it's the way you handle those feelings and your actions are affecting others. That's my problem and beef with Irina. But ultimately, it is what it is, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? She admits that she belittled him. She admits that she made him feel small. She said she apologized on the platform. And again, the presenter asked him directly, do you believe her? And he goes, listen, you did a lot of things to hurt a lot of people, including me. And the cameras didn't show it. So there was actually a lot of clips that painted her in a worse light than she already was in, but they didn't show it. And he categorically says, let's be real here, let's call a spade a spade. You went onto this show to get famous. And I was like, oh my, I said, astaghfirullah. Nah, I was like, rah, I was like, wow, this is mad. Like, big up you, Zach, for being honest and saying your piece and saying it how it is. And her reaction was like, it wasn't like, oh, no way. It was kind of like, you've kind of caught me. It was kind of like, nah, but yeah, I am kind of trying to be here to be famous. And then he then gives her a bit of shade again. He says, listen, no matter what, I forgave you all the way back then. He says, I believe you'll become an amazing person one day. I'll be sitting here, if I'm Irina, I'll be sitting here thinking, rah, I'm really getting, they're abusing me right now, they're going in, you know what I'm saying? It's the little shady comments, you'll be an amazing person one day. But yeah, all this panic attack stuff, I don't buy it, man. I just don't buy that you can have all these panic attacks and really be going through it mentally and then be harsh and horrible to other people. If you're having panic attacks, you wouldn't be so nasty so publicly and stuff. I don't know, like if I was having panic attacks, I'd be a recluse and stuff. I don't know, man. The point is, she wasn't coming across as a person who was really going through it mentally. And I just felt she was hiding behind mental health and this whole panic attack stuff and talking about how she had panic attacks when her face was on the thing and crying. Maybe I don't know what a panic attack is then, because I feel like panic attack is when you're really short of breath, you're actually panicking, you're getting anxious, you're hyper anxious, you're hyperventilating. That's a panic attack. You're in distress. She was not demonstrating any of these symptoms, if I'm being honest. And not only that, she sent a DM. Guys, she sent a DM to Bliss the first day they were in Mexico, yeah? Saying, you dodged a bullet. This is how I know the girl is fake as shit. Talking about, oh yeah, panic attack this and no, you're talking about Bliss. How dare you send a DM? You go out of your way to send a DM to Bliss saying, you dodged a bullet about Zach. The very same Zach she's married to a year later. Wow. Dodged a bullet, yeah? Wow. Nah, she ain't Neo in this story. This ain't the Matrix, bro. She didn't dodge this bullet. That bullet connected. that bullet clarted her straight in the chest, I'm telling you. Now we got onto Micah and Paul and Irina, because we're still on the Irina beef right now. And the kind of the Irina and Paul flirting stuff in the pool and stuff. And Paul explains that even though Irina and Paul had a little bit of flirting here and there, Micah and Paul had already outlined the parameters of what they were allowed and not allowed to do. They were allowed to flirt a little bit here and there, but they couldn't really cross a line. You know what I'm saying? So they had spoken about that beforehand, off camera basically. So they never really, Paul was secure that Kwame and Micah were done, and he felt they never crossed the line. Now, they also showed a scene where Paul tapped a bridesmaid's ass as he walked out the room on the wedding day. Now guys, I never saw that on the day. So you got to shout out those eagle-eyed fans and watchers, viewers, audience, who slowed down the clip. And as he walked, he tapped her. Now guys, I never saw that. So that was brand new information to me. He said to assume or to suggest that it was anything other than a kind of like an acknowledgement that he's walking past her, like a, oh sorry I bumped into you, tapped her, is ridiculous. I don't know how I feel about that. He's saying what, to suggest that it was anything other than that is ridiculous, but it really did low-key look, especially with her reaction, it low-key looked that he actually tapped her behind, bro. It looked like he was walking past, man saw the dumper truck and said, yo, let me just, you know what I'm saying, let me give it a cool, let me double tap that, like it's an Instagram pic, you know what I'm saying, let me double tap that. But he argues that it was just an acknowledgement of her, he bumped into her or but the way she was like, ooh, I don't know man, it looks a bit, I don't know man, I don't know innit, I don't know. It was an interesting scene and yeah, they moved past it and whatever. Now, this is where we get onto Micah and Paul stuff, right? And they say, if Paul would have said yes, would you be married today? They say that to Micah. She starts to cry. Now, this is what real tears look like. She wasn't acting, she was crying, guys. She was very upset. And what made her upset is the fact that, well, she would have said yes for one. If Paul had said yes, she would have said yes. But alternatively, if she had said yes, Paul would have still said no, which would have made for even better TV. But it is what it is, so whatever. But she felt blindsided. She felt like he said a cheap shot to her when he mentioned the motherly stuff. And I said this in my video. That was bang out of order and that was out of line. That was an out of line comment to make. I'm not gonna lie, it was. And I even had someone in my comment section saying, what? Micah was making loads of jokes throughout Mexico and this and this. What? Zach can't Paul can't make a joke about her. Fam, there was nothing jokey about that. That was the real reason why he didn't want to be with her, because she didn't show nurturing traits. So they get into that. And guys, I was left more confused than when I watched the show, because initially he kind of saved himself by saying, you know what, I just can't see us as parents. I just can't see us working as parents. Now, that made sense to me. If you can't envisage or imagine a life together with your parents, then fair enough. But then when he's probed a bit more and he's asked to go a little bit deeper, again, he just starts talking about this nurturing side to her that he can't force out, he can't tease out. It's just not in her, or he never got to see that. And then he tries to save himself by saying, you know what, it's not even her fault, it's my fault as well. I didn't inspire that nurturing in her. Bro, don't do that. Now, I know what you're trying to do there. I know you're trying to save yourself by actually shouldering the blame. But I'm a smart guy, I'm a high IQ gentleman, yeah? I'm reading between the lines here. The only reason he's doing that is because he doesn't give a shit about what you as the audience think about him. And I rate him for that, to be fair. He doesn't care about what you think about him. So he will say, you know what, it's my fault as well. It's my fault, I never inspired it in her. Blame me. Blame me for her nurturing nature not existing, yeah? But we all know a man is not going to be the one to inspire a woman's nurturing motherly traits, is it? Like, a woman's nature, a woman's nurturing traits are going to be maternal. They're going to be inside. Men can't inspire that. You know what I'm saying? That's from the inside. So he tried to save himself by taking the blame for it. And then, you know what I'm saying? But really and truly, I was left more confused. Let's be real here. If you're a straight talker, yeah, say what it is. What is it that Micah lacked? Is it the empathy? Is it the kindness? What do you mean she's lacking a nurturing motherly trait? What do you mean by that, bro? Like, I don't get, what do you actually mean by that? So I was mad confused, and so Micah was really crying. Micah felt that was the worst thing he possibly could have said about her, because it is so important for her to have kids. And I felt really bad for Micah in that moment. And this is where I don't like what Zach said later. Now, don't get me, in fact, I'll get to that, because Micah is an only child. Her mum found it very difficult to conceive. There was even minute chances of conception for Micah. So when Micah was born, it was a big moment. She had a child and she never had no more kids. So it's important for her to have a family because she comes from a small family. She wants kids. She wants to be a mother. And we never really got to see that side of Micah. So I felt really sorry for her. So that makes what Paul said even more hurtful. And they even had a few dates before the marriage and stuff. And he was talking about how he possibly, what would you say if I don't want kids? And that shocked her. That hurt her. She got upset. I want kids. And ultimately, she felt that he never once, not once in the entire experience bring that up. Not once. So she actually found that out, yeah? She found out the motherly comment the same time we did. So a year later, after she's had her heart broken on the altar, yeah, she's now found out the real reason was because he can't see her as a mother. And she found that out the same time we did. That's not a good look. That's not a good look, Paul. And you come across like a real coward for that. You come across like a real coward for not saying it what it is, how it is. He just phrased it poorly, allegedly. But even then, I still felt good. And the presenter again. I love the presenters, the woman and the man. The woman's like, yo, I don't get it. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't understand. If I'm being honest, I believe Micah has every right to be upset. We don't understand. And then this is where Zach chimes in, bro. He basically backs Paul. Now, I've got no problem with you riding for your friend. Zach, I actually respect you. See, again, you know me, I'm a real balanced individual. I see all sides, not just 2 sides, I see 10 sides, I see infinite sides. So, Zach, I will give you credit for riding for your brother and defending Paul. You saw Paul in a different light. We never saw Paul the way you saw Paul. We never spoke to Paul the way you spoke to Paul. Anyway, he defends him saying, yeah, he was still really torn the night before the wedding, rah, rah, rah. But we knew what his decision... He was alluding to the fact that he knew what his decision was going to be the day before the wedding, but he was still torn. I believe he told Zach he was going to say no, but he was still torn about it. So that's what Zach chimes in and basically defends him. And then Zach then goes one step further and says, Micah, I think it's wrong for you to feel the way you feel. I think you've come on here to badmouth Paul and get some get back. He said, you've come here for blood. Zach, I think you should shut your mouth and know your place. Yeah? You're happily married, defend Paul, but shut your mouth. Micah has every right to come on here and call out Paul. She got left at the altar, she got cut, so, I mean, again, I don't blame him for that, it's his decision, but at the end of the day, she was hurt, she got left at the altar, and 2, he actually insulted her. And she found that out a year later. So humble yourself, Zach, yeah, and let Micah feel the way she feels, yeah? And let Micah say to Paul, because that's probably the first time they've seen each other since it got aired. So she's got every right to call him out. Facts. So Zach, shut your mouth. Yeah, shut your mouth. I gave you credit for calling out Irina, but know your place and just sit there humbly. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Don't be gaslighting Micah, telling her that she can't come on here and call out Paul when he actually said a very rude and nasty comment about her. Anyway, then they bring up Shelby, nasty, cruel Shelby, and the presenters basically say, yo, like, wild one for your friend. And Micah says, listen, Shelby was right to an extent. It's just she has terrible delivery. But she defends Shelby. She says the reason Shelby was like that is because she thought we were rushing. She thought this was moving too fast and she didn't want me to get hurt. Now, at the end of the day, guys, I hate Shelby in it as a person from what I've seen from her. But I can't say she was wrong. You know what I'm saying? You can't really say she was wrong, can we? We can't say she was wrong. So you have to give Shelby credit for kind of standing on what she believes in, and what she believed in so happened to be spot on. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, it is what it is. And I think most people in Micah and Paul's life felt that it didn't feel natural. It felt a little bit forced. Now, I agree with that. Now, even though I think they actually got on a lot better than people give them credit for, it was more on the false side, because naturally those two people wouldn't gravitate towards each other. But it just goes to show you that sometimes opposites can attract people that you don't really feel naturally close around. You can see the world you can see the world in similar ways, you can get on with each other, you can be attracted to each other, you can be sexually compatible, all these things. So ultimately, it was a bit unnatural anyway. Zach even says, listen, I heard from a few people that Micah didn't even want to get married anyway. And I thought Zach was really coming in here to twist the knife. Man really wanted to dig it and twist and start bringing up all this drama. I was like, wow, Zach, you're the one coming here for blood, really and truly. And Micah was like, what are you talking about? Paul and Micah allegedly dated after the show. but it fizzled out after about 2 weeks. So clearly they weren't meant to last. Whether cameras were on or cameras were off, they weren't gonna last. You can find comfort in that at the end of the day. They tried, it failed, move on, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Now, we get to Jackie and Josh and Marshmallow, yeah? Those cowards, they ducked it. They ducked the fade, they ducked the smoke, they ducked the beef, they ducked the war, right? They wanted to get their little 2 pence in, and that's it. They didn't want to get held to the fire. And Jackie, you're soft for that. Josh, you're soft for that. You know, who cares about Josh anyway? Some sad man. Anyway, cool. She's talking about how she's grown over the last year, and she clears up how she broke up with Marshmallow before the whole coffee scene. But Marshmallow makes a good point. Whether you broke up the day before or the day after, you're still meeting a man and kissing a next man on the lips. Literally the same day. Give or take 24 hours. Give or take 48 hours. You know what I'm saying? And he's right for feeling a bit pissed off about that. You know what I'm saying? He's right for feeling pissed off. She didn't cheat on him. But for you to be kissing next man straight away, no man wants to hear that. No girl wants to hear that. You know what I'm saying? It's like Friends. It's like Friends. Flipping Rachel and Ross. We were on a break. We were on a break. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one wants to find out that your ex is kissing someone straight away or alright. You know what I'm saying? So either way, now she actually claims that Marshmallow called Jackie a derogatory term. Now, guys, this is me sipping that topical tea right now, because fam, this was juicy. This was topical juicy right now, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you, because what had happened was they go into detail about the fallout that they had, where Marshmallow left the house for 3 days, and it just so happens that it ties in with the leaked text messages from Jackie's friends, because what real friends leak text messages? That's what we call a snake. That's what we call a basilisk. Yeah, that's what we call Nagini. Yeah, where's Voldemort at? And if you cast your minds back to the leaked messages, the messages were basically Jackie was calling Marshmallow fruity. Yeah, she was calling him fruity, she was calling him suspect, she was calling him a fruit salad because my man's twerking on the bed and saying yas and all this fruit salad stuff, right? So what happened was, the argument was all about them initially joking, and those jokes went too far. You remember how Zach and Irina were kind of breaking up, and Zach would get a jab in there, and Irina would get a jab in there, and Zach would get another jab in there, and Irina would get another jab in there, saying, yeah, as soon as I saw you, I never even wanted anything with you. You know what I'm saying? And then you kind of cross the line. I believe that's what happened with Marshmallow and Jackie, where Jackie is now saying to him, yeah, what, you're not even aggressive with me. You don't even come, do you even fancy me? Like, are you gay or something? That's what she said to him. Like, are you gay? Like, you're not sticking it on me. And she's challenging and questioning his masculinity and his sexuality. Do you understand? Now, his rebuttal to that, his comeback to that was, listen, you've got a strong jawline. Are you a transsexual? You know what I'm saying? That's what he's gone and said. He might have said, I don't know, he might have said like tranny or something like that. Is that a derogatory term? I'm asking that respectfully, by the way. I'm assuming that's the derogatory term that they meant. But he goes on to say that he never actually used a term. I believe he did use a term. I believe he didn't just say you've got a strong jawline. I believe he said you look like a man, you look like a, you know what I'm saying, whatever. He probably said something like, you look like a man. Now, it is what it is, bro. If she's questioning your sexuality, then I believe he can say something about her jawline, and it is what it is, fam. Now, I know if you saying I would never say that to a woman. I would never say that to a female personally, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I think Jackie's a pretty girl, to be honest. Yeah, I think she's got a nasty personality. I think she's a very pretty girl though. But yeah, he didn't like what she was saying to him, and she said, listen, you look like a blood clot man. That's it. And she didn't like it. So they had a falling out, and it was at that moment they realised they're never going to be together. Well, that is that moment that she realised that anyway. She even tried to throw him under the bus by saying he wanted the ring back so he could give it to another contestant. Wow, these are some serious allegations, man. I'm like, right, and the other contestant was Keisha or Faisha or Latasia, one of them. There's Keisha or something like that. I can't remember who it was. And then Josh was trying to give sly digs, saying that yeah, the person that Marshmallow wanted to give the ring to, they tried to date afterwards for 2 weeks and broke up straight away, and all these little passive aggressive comments. But oh yeah, but we're still together. And shut up, man. Anyway, the presenter then asks Jackie, did you know that's what Josh looked like? And she goes, no, I just heard his voice and I got PTSD. And I was like, because Marshmallow goes, and you can see in the little corner, Marshmallow goes, and then he goes, you can't hear him say it, but if you're good at lip reading, he goes, is that a good thing? He goes, is that a good thing? And I thought the same thing. I thought, Jackie, I know what you mean when you say that. What you meant is that his voice triggered something in you and it kind of, but PTSD it couldn't have been, that was the worst way to describe what you feel. PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder, bro. So you hearing a person's voice and it giving you PTSD, that's a very negative thing. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Marshmallow has his chance to speak and kind of rebuff what they said. And he just clears up the whole derogatory comment thing, and he just says he never said it. It was just like I thought it was him. I initially thought it was going to be him calling her a slag, or him calling her like easy or a hoe or something like that. You know, them ones there like but it wasn't that. It was actually calling her a man, essentially. Now, yeah, he just says, listen, forget all this. Clearly over the last year, you've been trying to jab me, you've been trying to get one over on me. You're literally happily in a relationship with Josh. Why is it a Marshmallow versus me? Why is it a Marsh versus Jackie thing? Let's move on. No feelings, there's no hard feelings there, let's move on. But I'll be honest with you, the way his face was and like all his facial expressions, you know, it looked like he still cared. And he had the opportunity to speak and he's just like, oh no, I'm just gonna let them have their moment and all this stuff. And I was thinking, bro, speak your piece. Stop being so soft. But ultimately, he just feels slighted again that they haven't turned up. He felt slighted at the altar that he never got the opportunity to say yes or no. I think that's a bit weird, like, he just wanted that whole experience and all the, I don't know, Marshmallow, just whatever, man, stop being so soft. We then get an insight into the married life and we start seeing them living together and, you know, all these stuff. And yeah, Chelsea and Kwame got their own bathroom and Zach and Bliss has got good memories and all these stuff, whatever. Kwame clears up the whole Kwame thing. He loves who he is. He's very close to his Ghanaian side. I'm happy about that. Chelsea clears up the haters. She made a decision for herself, but you know, the haters include people like myself. We all said that Kwame don't F with you. Why are you still sticking with him, etc, etc. And yeah, she says, listen, women need to make their own decisions in life. I made my decision, I stand on it, and look, the decision was great, we're still together. Fair enough, Chelsea, you proved me wrong. You proved me wrong. The fact that you made it a year, what can I say? I hold my hands up, I was wrong. And Kwame clears up some rumours as well, talking about how it wasn't just the Portland to Seattle thing that was on his mind, it was actually the lifestyle that he lives. He's naturally a nomad where he's out of the country for 6 months at a time. So I've got to give credit to Kwame for actually changing his life, because me personally, as much as I'm open to a relationship, the thought of it is scary, you know, because I've got similar dreams. I want to be living out the country and moving abroad and having this experience, that experience. So it's important for me that the person that I settle with is also down for that. And for me to stop that, for me to not want to pursue that lifestyle for someone else, that someone else would have to be so special. So I rate Kwame for putting a break or putting a pin in his lifestyle to build a new and unique lifestyle with a new person. So listen, they get credit from me, man. They get credit from me still. We're then shown Bartiz. Now bear in mind, you guys know me, this is the first ever Love is Blind I've ever seen. I've never watched one episode, I didn't know what the premise was. And Bartiz, because I watched Nicole's videos, Bartiz was like the villain, one of the top 3 villains of all time. Now he's got a ute now. So he's got a little picnic, he's got a baby, and he asked them, who's gonna be the first to have kids? And you know, Tiffany and Brett say they're not rushing it. They're not rushing it. They're just not rushing it. They're just trying to enjoy their lives, and it will happen when it happens. Chelsea then says, you know what, I felt the clock was ticking, but we're gonna sit back and allow ourselves time. That's what Kwame's taught us. Bliss and Zach, they're the ones who are likely probably gonna have kids. Bliss and Zach, they're saying, listen, we cannot wait to have kids. We're buzzing for it. We're bouncing off the walls. I can't wait. It's amazing. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for them. They've never had a Love is Blind baby. So I didn't realise the presenters were actually married until about halfway through the episode. I was thinking, yo, the chemistry between these two is quite like, are they together? And it turns out they're together and they got 3 kids. So yeah, one of them's even 18, I think, or even left the house. I'm not too sure. But yeah. Ultimately, it was a really good. I know I've missed some points here. I think I've missed some points, but ultimately, guys, it was a really, really great reunion. I thought it was drama filled. It was entertaining. Yeah, I really wanted to get this video out sooner, but it is what it is. And guys, yeah, let me know your thoughts, man. This is going to be the longest video I've done for a long time. Hopefully you stayed. In fact, if you made it this far, I want you to put a black heart emoji, the black heart emoji with the eyes. You know the little eyes that go like that, yeah? If you made it this far, put those emojis down for me. I know you're a real one. I appreciate you. Guys, stay tuned for every bit of other content I've got coming. I've got so much content in the works. I've got my Couch Chronicles coming up. I've got some discussion focus. I want to talk about therapy. I want to talk about YouTube. I want to talk about so many things. So yeah, guys, I hope you stuck with me for this long video. Reality TV is going to be done now. I probably won't review Love Island in the summer. I'm probably going to be done with reality TV shows. No Married at First Sight. No Love is Blind. I want to get back to my normal stuff. But I appreciate you sticking around anyway. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, guys. What the hell do I know? I'm just a man in his 20s. Peace.